We're getting better, y'all. We're getting better. It's a beautiful day here. These allergies are kicking my buns. But I'm here to just bring some content real quick. Nothing special. You guys do know I'm from Dolton, but history is my love, and I have some things to talk about Chicago and other. I'm not just watching the Dolton race. Surprisingly enough, I'm excited to see. Shout out to Ryan's Gate Chicago again, because I got to see more about what was going on in Linwood, Riverdale. I'm trying to see if Michael Earhart will win, and I'm also interested in Calumet City. Who will be clerk? Will Monet be trustee again? Will Thaddeus win? Or will Mayor Michelle, old comrade, come back? Mayor Michelle was the mayor for Calumet City for 1,000 years almost. And Thaddeus is the first Black mayor. So, hey, Choose Compassion. Hey, Cynthia. Hello, everybody. So we're going to take this really slow because I do have some congestion. I'm so sorry, guys. We're going to take this really slow. We're going to start with Leak & Sons. And if you guys didn't know, Leak & Sons is the most popular funeral home in Chicago. I'm not going to say that y'all, we could argue about this. Gatlin's, Leak & Sons. It's a lot of big funeral homes in Chicago, but Leak & Sons historically is huge. And we covered it because we found out Mr. Leak with his cute self. Remember we were covering the Staples? And Mr. Leak actually married Mavis Staples. And Mavis Staples said he wanted her to be at home and be a real wife and have babies. And she could not. She had to go hang with Prince and the Revolution and do her thing, hang with Pops and the Staples singers. So if you recall, we covered Mavis Staples, whose father, Pop Staples, actually lived in Dolton. Celebrity, music, rock and roll, Hall of Famers, right? And we covered that a couple of, I don't know why the news do not mention, since Tiffany's such a big thing, Pop Staples, he had his home and kept his home for years. And I think his son passed away in that home. One of, the last living Staples singer siblings. Mavis is the last living Staples singer right now. So yeah, they lived in Dolton. So I wanted to share this history because we did cover Leak & Sons. And hello to everyone joining in the chat. I appreciate y'all. Let's go to one of the most popular funeral homes in Chicago. Now, I'm not trying to snap. I know Gatlin's, which has another Dolton connection. Okay, it's a lot of stuff going on. Dolton is in the middle of everything, but let's go.
Decades. Leak & Sons Funeral Homes has been serving Chicagoland families when a loved one passes on.
But what many don't know is how much they continue to do for the community. This Black History Month, we highlight the family business that has remained a constant for generations. It all started in 1933.
My grandmother, Dottie Leak, loaned my grandfather, A.R. Leak, $500. He matched that with $500 that he earned at the Chicago World's Fair and opened up Unity Funeral Home.
Spencer Leak Jr. says his grandfather, A.R. Leak, split from Unity and opened his own funeral home on 44th and State. In 1959, they moved to 78th and Cottage Grove. When A.R. Leak died in 1993, Spencer Sr. became CEO.
We are now 91 years old.
Spencer Jr., the vice president, runs the days and, well, the nights.
Good evening, Leak & Sons Funeral Home.
They take calls 24 hours a day, year after year.
That just makes me feel so good that we are so well respected in the community because of that Leak name.
The oldest of the 3 Leak boys, Spencer Jr., has never been on a job interview.
I started working when I was 12 years old, answering the phone, and my voice had not changed yet. So they would say, "Hello, ma'am. I would like to speak to such and such." And I would say, "Hi, I'm Spencer Leak Jr." I would try to make my voice deep. I was driving a limousine the day after I got my driver's license, picking up families.
With his little brothers eventually following behind.
Essentially, I'm an extension of my older brother and just kind of handle things and just make sure operations go smoothly.
I'm the one that directs the actual ceremony, and then I take the families to the cemetery.
That's right. Everyone works here. Dad, mom, a cousin.
That is Spencer's mom, Mr. Leak's wife. And Mr. Leak, let me tell you something about this family. A couple of times I knew people and myself, we had issues and we didn't know where to go, where to turn. And we knew if someone passed on, you could call the Leaks family and they will walk you through what you need to be walked through. They will walk you through everything you need to be walked through. One time we had a loved one pass away, didn't know where the paperwork was, didn't know where the insurance was, called Leaks and Son. We called him Elder Leak, but he said, don't worry about that. I'm going to come get and take care of everything, and I'll meet you there. Famous, my classmate, Nelson Ellis, had his funeral there. They've had a lot of popular funerals there. If I'm not mistaken, anybody younger than me no one would accept the body of, what was his name? I'm so sorry. I'm old. But no one would accept his body. And he was a rapper. He hanged with Little Durk. I'm so sorry, I cannot remember his name right now. But if I'm not mistaken, do y'all know if because no one in Chicago will accept his body. I think Leaks and Son did. I want to say I remember that. Yeah. Oh, Chu said it is A.R. Leaks. Oh my goodness, they are. I have sat in front of Mr. A.R. Leaks too many times. Wow, family. Yeah. Mr. Leak. Yes. Chicago history. Yeah, very interesting. Let's go.
And those boys.
Spencer's a hard worker, day and night. Stevie, Stacy, hard workers, and I love them all.
And let me tell you, you won't catch her a day not looking like that, okay? If you see her in the grocery store, if you see her around, she is always fly, always.
Henrietta has been working with and been married to Spencer Sr. for 55 years now, but admits working with her sons is, well, different.
Oh, how cute. How cute.
Now.
It's pretty hard because my children are grown and they don't want to listen to me. They tell me what to do. Yeah. It's kind of hard, especially with Spencer Jr.
Parenting stories aside, she is here daily.
I call myself the official meter and greeter because I meet the families at the door, and before they leave out, we're hugging.
And at a family's request, she will even give her touch.
I do nails, I do makeup, I do hair. Sometimes I just want everybody, when they leave the funeral home, to be satisfied.
That's very true. She does. King Von, thank you. King Von, thank you. Yes, I believe. I'm going to look it up. I'm going to look it up and post it because no one would take, it was like, it was a whole thing. It was a big thing. I see TikTok got it, but I don't want to. We'll go back to that. Hi, Wyoming gal. How are you? Thank you so much. That is crazy. It's crazy. Now I'm gonna verify that. I'm gonna verify about King Von. But I believe that's who ended up taking him. Wyoming gal, thank you so much. Oh, we're about to talk about the election next. I want to talk about some history and one of my favorite families, the Leaks. I don't think they get enough credit. I do not know them personally, but everyone knows you can go to Mr. Leaks for sure. The family, they will help you. Let's go.
Every family.
That service and history stretches beyond these walls.
Reverend Jesse Jackson told me that we're not just a business, we are an institution. Whether it's paying for rent, we give money every year for Christmas, reducing the cost of funerals.
A.R. Leak even signed his name on church mortgages to help them remain open. And Spencer Sr. still supports people down on their luck today.
As a child, I would be out with my dad, and people would just come up to him, thanking him, and just so grateful for it. I never understood that until I got a little bit older.
And there are articles that date back to the 60s that show the work A.R. Leak and pastors did to make sure families were buried where they wanted to be.
In 1963, Oakwood Cemetery during that time would not allow blacks to either be buried or cremated at the cemetery. They all got together, marched from our funeral home here to Oakwood Cemetery and met with the cemetery owners. 2 weeks later, Oakwood cemeteries opened their doors up to blacks.
They have served families you don't know and families you do, like Chicago comedian Bernie Mac, father of black gospel music Thomas Dorsey, and legendary singer Sam Cooke.
Maybe thousands of people on the street, ladies at the front door, and I even understand that they ripped the front door down trying to get in to see Sam Cooke.
Now, you know what I would like to ask? Thank goodness Don Hasbrook is doing this interview. I'd be like, did you see Bobby Womack? Did Bobby Womack really wear Sam Cooke's suit? Because, I'm old, okay? Bobby Womack, do y'all know the story? Oh my God, Bobby Womack was one of my favorite singers. And the story is, I like old school music, I like new school music, I like everything. But the story was Bobby Womack wore Sam Cooke funeral suit to his funeral and drove his car and took his lady and married her. That's where that song "I Wish He Didn't Trust Me So Much" came from. But I would have asked Spencer that. Did y'all see? Well, I know Spencer didn't, but did your dad see when Bobby Womack came in there with Sam Cooke lady?
Get in to see Sam Cooke.
And Spencer Sr. served as a driver for Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
There were no limousine companies, white limousine companies, that would offer a limousine to Dr. King. The only people that had limousines were black funeral home owners. Whenever he came in from at O'Hara, it would be my father and my grandfather that would meet him at O'Hara and pick him up.
That history is seen on the walls, and there are now 3 locations: Chicago, Country Club Hills, and Madison. But what you don't see is the love the Leaks put into their work and to each other.
You hear about families who fight. We do not fight.
Some people try to get away from their families. I love being with my family, so it's a blessing for sure.
And the community recognizes that generation after generation.
I'm in my black and gold, even though I'm a Kappa. I'm in my black and gold, and people say, I know who you are. You're Spencer. You're one of those Leak boys. You all taking care of everybody in our family.
And they say God takes care of them. Even the sign out front says so. Spencer replaced it years ago, but his father didn't like it.
He said, you have up there that your grandfather founded this funeral home in 1933. Your grandfather did not find this funeral home. He co-founded it. Our business was founded by God. Take the sign down and put that back up. Cost me $5,000.
9 decades and counting as they serve the next Chicago generation with the help of the next young Leak generation.
My son is A.R. Leak as well, so he's stuck with it. So that's one of my sons. So I don't know about, and the other one is Carter Spencer. So unfortunately, their path is chosen already.
Luckily, we give them the opportunity just to be what they want to be.
So Leak & Sons will continue to be a part of Chicago's history.
That sounds good. I'm a part of history, yes.
They give thanks to the people that have carried this family business.
I'm so grateful to all of the people over the years, the city and the suburbs, who have trusted the Leak family for now 91 years. We appreciate them so much.
The 4th generation is currently in college, so we'll see who goes to work with their dad and grandparents.
Oh, wow. That is so... Okay, hold on. I got incoming. Okay, I'm going to... So I got a confirmation about King Von. So maybe I had it incorrect. Let's see. Uh-oh. I can't even share it because it's something wrong with... I guess I can't view this thing. Okay, I'll try to come back to that. Okay. Yes. Beautiful AR Leaks. We talk about them all the time. I was at the courthouse and ran into Spencer. and then I came back and I don't know him personally. And then I went back to the courthouse and ran into Spencer. And I was wondering why. And so I said, hey, I would love to have you on my show. And he was like, anytime, and I was just like, what am I gonna say? And but I would like to talk about the Leak's family. AR Leak, what a history he has and what a legacy. Look at that big, beautiful family. That is just beautiful. Okay, moving on. Let's go to the next story. That is going to be, oh, you said I love AR Leaks. My whole family. My sons worked for us a couple of times. It's hard to work for a family. Yeah, it is. I bet it is, Wyoming gal. So what was the next thing I want to talk about? Cara Wilson. Difficult subject matter to talk about because I don't understand it. I don't understand media. I don't understand how news reports stuff. And I don't understand this whole situation going on with Dolton and the politics and so many things going on. I can't relate, you know what I mean? And I've never been in Cara Wilson's shoes. So if you didn't know, Alexis Wilson will have to play what happened to Alexis Wilson. We're going to play the body cam first, and then we're going to go from there, okay? So let's start there. Let me start there. And sorry, I'm stumbling over my words. I really don't know what to say when it comes to this because I see so many different posts, and I do not want to be insensitive to Cara. I care about her, so I definitely wouldn't want that. But it's out there, and it's out there almost. It's morphing into a Tiffany Henyard, Alexis Wilson, Tiffany Henyard, and Justice. And I was talking to a friend today. Let me bring this up first about justice because I want to look up justice, the meaning. What does justice mean? Like to make someone whole, to perform law, to treat someone fairly, properly, and reasonably by the law. I am stuck on that part. You know what I mean? Hey Chavis, to be made whole. And I'm just stuck on how could she ever be made whole? Nothing that anyone could give her, anything could be made whole. And I don't want her to turn into, definitely say her name, care for her, treat her well, pray for her, say her daughter's name, support her, give her a kind word, look after her. I think about all of that, but I just don't understand why. I don't know. So I'm gonna stop it there. So let's see what happened to the beautiful, gone too soon, Alexis Wilson, who was murdered at the hands of Dolton police officers.
To protect their daughter. Instead, they say she was a victim of excessive force, shot within 3 minutes of officers arriving at a drive-through restaurant where she was arguing with staff about her food order. In a just filed federal lawsuit, the suburban Homewood family alleging that officers grossly overreacted, leading to Alexis's death.
3 minutes, that child is dead with 7 bullets, 2 in her head. That's an execution.
Little girl, 7 times.
July 27, 2021. Security camera footage from Baba's restaurant shows Dolton police officers arriving with their weapons drawn. Police say an employee called 911 claiming Alexis Wilson was threatening workers with a gun in the drive-thru.
There's a customer outside and they have a gun and they're banging on the drive-thru window.
The family's attorney says it appears the 19-year-old was hitting a stick against the glass, not a gun.
This was senseless. There was no reason for these police officers to come across so aggressively to this young lady and start punching a young lady in the face.
This lawsuit filed late today names officers Ryan Perez and Gerald Carlton, alleging they used excessive force against Wilson. The officers asked Wilson and her boyfriend to get out of the minivan. Edited body cam video released by Dolton police shows he complied, but Wilson did not. She said she wasn't properly dressed. When the officer tries getting in on the passenger side, Wilson takes off.
She was scared and she drove off.
Dolton police say both officers shot at Wilson. Her vehicle crashed into a nearby bike shop. Police have said a gun was found in Wilson's car.
Why is it that beauticians get more training than police? It should not have happened this way. There were so many choices to make that night that could have preserved that child's life.
Wilson says Alexis was extremely close to her younger brother, and she was about to begin classes at Prairie State.
She was so happy and proud.
The Cook County State's Attorney's Office tells the I-Team the shooting is under review by prosecutors in its Law Enforcement Accountability Division. They review investigations of all on-duty officer-involved shootings to determine if criminal charges are appropriate. Dolton police, with no comment on the case or the suit, have not provided us with the status of the officers. Judy?
Okay, check.
What they left out in that video is you could see Officer Perez hitting her in the face. And that's why she drove off. I'm going to show now that Officer Perez has been he's been killed in a car crash. The same officer that took Alexis Wilson's life. It was two, but this is the one that shot her. The problem with this is it justice if he is still held as a police officer, still held as someone that was on duty, that was off duty, a fallen hero, a fallen police officer to some people. Meanwhile, we're here in Dolton knowing what the real track record was. Let's watch what the news, how the news is reporting Officer Perez.
Morning in the accident on U.S. Highway 41 in unincorporated Lake County, Indiana. He was not on duty at the time. We don't know the circumstance. Indiana police officer was killed in an early morning crash. Officials say Officer Ryan Perez died this morning in the accident on U.S. Highway 41 in unincorporated Lake County, Indiana. He was not on duty at the time.
That's it. It's nothing else. It's nothing else about all the court cases he was in, including the police chase, including Alexis Wilson, all of the other connections he had. Let's play what Fox 32 has to say. So Fox 32 says an off-duty Munster, Indiana police officer was killed in a two-vehicle crash early Tuesday morning. The officer was identified as Ryan Perez, 31, who has just transferred to the department a few months ago. The cause of the crash in Lake County, Indiana, was under investigation. The two-car crash happened around 1 a.m., according to police. What they know, sheriff deputies were called on the scene of 11400 block of Wicker Avenue, just south of St. John. The crash involved a Dodge Ram pickup and a semi. Officers found the driver of the pickup truck was dead. He was identified as Ryan Perez, 31, an officer with the Munster Police Department for the last few months, Sheriff's Police said. He had transferred to the department from another department in Illinois. That's how they say it. That's just it. Not that he lost his job in Dolton for the murder of Alexis Wilson. Not that he was in Oak Forest and Cara Wilson, with her strength, chased him up out of there. Not that he was in Munster, and she was able to warn the citizens of Munster that he is now here, and he has a lot of victims under his belt. No, they never they just didn't give him, they never terminated him. He just wasn't on duty with a gun. He wasn't out doing traffic stops and stuff like that. They kept him still. I feel nothing for that man. There's no justice. So let's see what Munster, Indiana has to say. I want to go to local news, which is region. So here's the crash. Discretion advised, okay? So this is Indiana's local news. Actually, one of the guys that run this paper, he actually works for Dolton. True story. That's Officer Perez. This is the crash. That's the semi-trailer to the left. And the debris. Okay, so the semi-driver was uninjured. It says Officer Perez was believed to be coming home from working late on his new home. Now, let me show you what happened. Okay, now look what Munster said. Munster Police says arrangements are pending and thank the Lake County Sheriff's Department for their professionalism and compassion during this difficult time. Martinez extended its deepest condolences to the Munster Police Department and the family of friends of Officer Perez. Now, let me tell you what we saw. Officer Perez, we were there when he was getting sworn in Oak. Did he get sworn in Oak Forest? He only had one person by his side. I think he was newly married. Conscious, get well. He was on, actually, Keefus, he was on paid leave by the Dolton Dolton Police Department, and we can't find him. Chu said, did he apologize for the murder of Alexis Wilson? This is a lot of stuff. It's just heavy. Our prayers are with Cara Wilson at this time. We do not know how she's feeling. I think it's no form of justice that could bring her baby back. But I'm glad she's able to heal some way, somehow. If she can. That's me saying that. I don't know if she has. Let's go to the Dolton press conference. And then we're going to go to this election so I can tell you what I saw. Okay, let's go. It's a lot of people that owe Cara an apology. A lot of them owe them an apology from their own actions. From their own actions and what they did. And that includes Tiffany. But a lot more than Tiffany owe Cara an apology for sure. For sure. And that's not making an excuse for Tiffany. I feel like I know a lot of things were legally bound, but yeah. This is mother to mother, right? Let's go to it. This is the press conference Dolton had after she passed away.
Said if that woman even had a gun while she was in the drive-thru, but we can tell you that her family identifies the 19-year-old who was killed in this police-involved shooting as Alexis Wilson. Tonight, her family pushing for more answers as police continue this investigation that left 2 of their officers injured.
Tonight, crews boarding up this bike shop off of Sibley Boulevard after a wild confrontation with police ends with a crash in Dolton. The car barreling into this store just moments after a police-involved shooting overnight. This surveillance video shows the car hitting the store head-on. Howard Pence was inside and called 911.
I was feeling like it was tornado kind of consequences where, the house is shaking.
Now a teenager is dead and 2 officers are hurt.
There was a cop laying down on the sidewalk complaining about his injuries.
The woman killed was 19-year-old Alexis Wilson. Investigators say Wilson took off from police, injuring their officers.
He also saw the vehicle coming toward him. The vehicle was therefore being used as a weapon. That officer discharged his weapon multiple times into the car.
This all started at the Baba's Famous Steak and Lemonade in the 600 block of Sibley Boulevard after midnight. Police say Wilson got into an altercation with the employees while in the drive-thru. The Baba staff members called 911 and said Wilson was threatening them with a gun. When Dolton PD showed up, they say Wilson refused to get out of the car. She wasn't fully dressed and was frantic.
He was halfway in the vehicle trying to remove her, and that's when she took off.
Investigators say she started dragging the officer down the road. That's when a second Dolton cop opened fire.
3 shots were fired in her direction. The original officer was still dragging from the car. She then ran into one of our Dolton squad cars and proceeded eastbound here on Sibley.
The teen's family says there's much more to this story.
Wilson's family is planning to speak about this police-involved shooting that left their 19-year-old daughter dead in the coming days, saying that this just all does not add up to what they've been told by other witnesses. As you can see behind me here in Dolton, there's still much more cleanup that needs to be done at this bike shop. The owner hoping that the family of Alexis Wilson gets those answers as soon as possible. Tonight, Illinois State Police are investigating this police-involved shooting.
Everybody involved with the statements owe her an apology. All of them. Okay. Let's go back to the next. Hey, Potato, thank you. Yeah, they don't want to say that. It's always one person. Okay, let's go to the next subject. Elections. So, okay, y'all, we can relax now because this is all heavy. And we want to really, this is all heavy. And I want to say this, prayers to everyone involved. I mean, all candidates, all people working the polls, everybody. Prayers, okay? I mean, every single person, because this is deep. So I'm minding my business as I usually do. So my ride along will be later today. So I did a short ride along. Let me show it to you. Let me see if I got it. So my poll, I told you guys, 7 on the dot. So this was me and Dolton at my polling location. So if you notice right here, you see the white car right there? That's the sheriffs. So the sheriffs are over there at this polling location, but I drove around to several more to see what was going on, right? 7 Central Standard Time, guys. So I drove around to see what was going on at other polling locations, and they were kind of dead. Dane Placco was out there with Stephanie Wiederman, so you'll probably see her on Fox tonight. It was just Channel 7, but not one soul was at the Lesser Long Field House. The Clean House people were over there at Lincoln High School, so they dominated that, and a lot of the Calumet City people were on the border because Thaddeus is also running, right? So that's where Ryan's Gay Chicago videos come in handy so much. So yeah, when I saw them, y'all already know, your girl, right? I was really wondering why it was no one covering the polls. I got up out of there. So I don't know if the sheriffs will be the ones that will watch the polls or what will happen, but here we go. Oh, I'm sorry, Choose. Oh, Trina went around this morning. That's good. You're gonna have to go around before work. It's probably slow because people at work. Close to 5, 6, 7. It'll probably be banging again. Yeah, it'll be kind of cool to see the results. We're not just watching one over here on Burgundy Blue Commentary. We're watching multiple. Okay, let's go to it. So this is everybody. Choose, we love you, Choose. You know, people, this thing is emotional. It's so funny when I see people that are so emotional about Dolton and they don't, but I want to tell, before we go here, I want to share somebody I really care about. That's Shay from Late Night Crew. His video yesterday actually I was going to be out there at the polls. It actually made me think about, man, I don't need to be out there because the energy is so bad. Yesterday it went down yesterday. I'll put that video up at the bowling alley. It went down. 8 squad cars, paddy wagon. It was crazy. Right there, the bowling alley, right next to the currency exchange, right next to the soccer dome, right next to St. Patrick's. It was crazy. So a lot of people was scary about that. Then we had my neighbor got carjacked. I told y'all she got carjacked yesterday. So it's just weird energy out here in Dolton. Okay, it's just weird energy today. So yeah, let's go to. So we were dealing with that all night, helping her out. Let's go to. Actually, I ain't gonna lie. Tiffany looked. How does she get up looking like that? Like, does she have hair and makeup, or she do her own? It was looking pretty good.
Voters in Dolton are just.
And it's a lot of people. Like when I hear people saying they're praying for this and praying for like, I'm like, y'all just calm down. And hopefully I hope that this whole situation makes people really think about what's happening in their local government. That's what I'm trying to say. I try to like soften my words, but that's what I really hope. I hope that this make you really look at your own hometown and your local government and ask for those warrant lists. Ask for where's the money being spent. Meet your trustees, your aldermen. Do that.
Deciding the fate of Mayor Tiffany Henyard. Will she be staying in office? Joni Lum has more reaction from the polls.
Dolton residents who did come to the polls say they were hoping for a good turnout. A lot of people outside of Dolton have heard about the political controversies here, but it's the voters who get to decide whether their mayor gets a second term. Mayor Tiffany Henyard rolled up to the Lester Long Fieldhouse with the car stereo turned up, playing her campaign song, Feed the People, which she shared on her social media. She says it symbolizes the good things she has done for the village of Dolton.
I think people should do their research before they judge. I've always given back to my community. I always done what's right for my community. And I think today the people will stand with their mayor, Tiffany Henyard.
Henyard is the focus of an FBI investigation, an independent investigation by former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot. Her spending on lavish Las Vegas trips has been called into question.
We're kind of like a joke, our mayor, and that's not a good thing, and it's embarrassing. For a resident, it's disappointing, and it's almost embarrassing because when it comes to someone representing a community and a village as a whole, you want them to represent the entire community and not just a certain part of the community.
Trying to get a change for Dolton, because right now we've been on the news, it's been embarrassing, so we just, everyone needs a change.
Not only is Ms. Henyard depriving the public of what they deserve, it's also costing the village money. So day one, every record that we have will be turned over. And we've already started demonstrating that by recreating a new website, putting many documents on there. And as we work with a new administration, it'll be a lot easier, a lot more seamless, and residents will get the service they deserve.
The challenger, trustee Jason House, says that he will unite Dolton. He says the Board of Trustees has already made changes to reflect more transparency in government here. In Dolton, Joni Lum, Fox 32, Chicago.
They be talking about this Lori Lightfoot. So this came out February 13th, 2025. Former mayors Johnson and Lightfoot accused of impeding Inspector General's investigations. The investigative roadblocks outlined by Inspector General Deborah Witzberg included demands by the law department to sit in on sensitive interviews. Okay? They be talking about this, Lori Lightfoot, that might embarrass the mayor and delaying the release of sensitive documents. Mayor Brandon Johnson and his predecessor, Lori Lightfoot, were accused Thursday of impeding the work of Chicago's Inspector General by withholding documents, selectively enforcing subpoenas, and demanding to have the law department sit in on interviews that risk embarrassment to the mayor. The investigative roadblocks outlined by the Inspector General, Deborah Witzberg, include picking and choosing which subpoenas to comply with and withholding or unreasonably delaying the release of sensitive documents, such as emails and text messages. What? Not Lori. I'm going to put this article here for y'all to read. What's she doing over here with us? What's she doing? In a memo to City Council released Thursday, Witzberg cited at least 10 investigations since her appointment in April 2022, when the law department demanded to attend investigative interviews. The vast majority of those investigations involved conduct of senior members of the mayor's office or high-ranking mayoral appointees. This is interesting. This is a long read, y'all. This Deborah, y'all. Deborah or Deborah. Okay. They also involve allegations of potential bribery and allegation of retaliation by withholding city services and multiple instances of alleged retaliation against individuals who made protected reports to the Inspector General's office. Not Lori, Lord. Not Lori Lightfoot. That's a good read, y'all. I read it last night. Not Lori. So Lori Lightfoot isn't mad. This came out while she was over here with us. This was going out about her. But it doesn't make the news like Tiffany, right? So here's the link for y'all to read it. Yes, Lori. Here's the title right here. I can't be on here long. Yeah. Now this just accused, right? Okay. So a lot of people being accused. So Lori could say it's just accusations, but hey, it's out there. All right. Let's go to what I want to talk about. Hey, JB. Oh my goodness. Lori, y'all, okay, so we had the let me tell you what Lori Lightfoot did. Like Tiffany say, me today, you tomorrow. So y'all know that Chicago is very segregated, right? Lori Lightfoot, it was civil unrest here. And Lori Lightfoot, when she saw the people were actually coming through, they were coming to during the civil unrest to like steal stuff, baby, she raised the gates. Okay, to protect to protect downtown, her office and her area. She raised the gates. And I think that's what I think that's what made her lose the election. When the civil unrest was going on, she had like we didn't see it. She let the South Side be damned. She let us they busted every store, every salon, everything. This was when during the George Floyd murder, it was going on in Chicago, the civil unrest, right? No justice, no peace, and things of that. And Lori Lightfoot, to separate the good neighborhood from whatever, she raised the gates, the bridges, so that people couldn't come to downtown and destroy it. And people never forgot that because our homes were destroyed, our businesses, our Walgreens. This is how she handled it. So that's my only thing. It was rioting. It was rioting all over Chicago. And Lori Lightfoot allowed the South Side to get plummeted. Okay. She didn't care. That's just what it was. Okay. So I think that's what lost her the election. The way she handled the South Side of Chicago or the neighboring areas of Chicago. It was really sad. Okay, let me look at your comments and then we're going to get up on out of here. I want to show y'all. This is what was going on in Chicago. They won't burn my city down. Who's they? Is that Lori saying my city? Because y'all get mad when Tiffany say my village. Is that a quote from Lori Lightfoot? Just asking. I know y'all hate when I do that, but just asking. And the reparations. What? They happened by you too, JB? Most mayors allowed that crap. The former mayor here also allowed the BS. I was out there. So, hey, T. Marie. Hey, beautiful. Okay. She said, my city. Where we heard that from? Because they got mad at somebody else. Natoya Figgs. She said, Natoya Figgs said, my constituents or my, y'all got so mad. We're not your constituents. I'm like, okay, because I swear I heard Lori Lightfoot say that. Okay. All right. Let's go to the last thing. Now it's like, okay, Lori, she'll be at the celebration. Okay, so this is what we're watching over here, just so you know. So when you tune into me later, this is what we'll be watching. We'll be watching all of these races, not everyone, but I'm definitely interested in, and here's where you can go to search for yourself, to have your own research. When people start closing down the polls and people start reporting, you can go here, okay? So about 6 o'clock, people will start watching, 6 o'clock Central Standard Time. They'll start watching here. So right here, you have the mayor of Calumet City. I'm really interested in that, you guys, for sure. I want to know if Thaddeus will prevail or will we have some new people here. Registered voters in Calumet City are 24,746, okay? Then you have the clerk. Will Cassandra Elston, will she win? Will she be victorious? What do you guys think? Let me take me off of there. Okay. Then, so that's who we have for, now is Aradia Clark, is she related to Chris Clark? I'm just wondering. That's the first time I saw that name. Aradia Clark. I just wanted to see where she was. We'll have to look into that. Okay. We'll look into that later. Okay. So at the top is the person that is already in no, right here. I'm sorry. Gerald Tarka, he was already in office. Okay. Tarka is already in office. And they're trying to bring Clark in. So now we have Dolton, Tiffany Henyard versus Jason House. Registered voters, 16,506. That is really good. That is a really good amount of registered voters in Dolton. So that's great. Okay. The clerk, Allison Key, Tanika Hughes, trustee, Kiana Belcher, Brittany Norwood, Ed Steve, Charles, poor Charles, Mr. Rayburn, Jocelyn King, Vanessa Wesco, and Linda Terrell. Now, this is another election I want to look at. The village of Linwood. Now, Jada Curry and Tiffany Henyard, they both made history that year. She has someone running against her, DeTanya K. Armstrong. I think she's a doctor too. I'm not sure. I think so. New trustees. Now, this is what we're going to see. Now, Mayor Cheeks. Will Mayor Cheeks win, or will the taste for the homeless, Michael Earhart, who stole our hearts when we saw him on the Jennifer Hudson show and saw what he did for the community, right? Will he win? That would be a really, really good race. Let's see, because Riverdale really, we talking about Dolton. I be looking at Riverdale like, man, they need some help. They need some change over there. Riverdale for sure. So you have the trustees there. You see Michael Smith is trying to run over there. They have a lot of people. Okay. Then you have the alderpersons of Calumet City. Berwyn. I heard Cicero is I don't know anything about Cicero, but they said Cicero is everyone's going to be looking for that. Larry Dominic and Esteban Rodriguez. And that's very important right now because in that area, they've been having a lot of prank calls about like ICE coming and stuff. It's really crazy. And that's it. That's all I'm looking at. I'm just looking at Calumet City, Riverdale, and Dolton, basically. And that's it, y'all. I'm going to end it here. Like I said, pray for everybody involved. When I saw the sheriff, your girl got up out of there, per usual. You know, it don't take me long. If I see something going down, I'm on the run, okay? I'm not one of those people, like, getting closer. Like, if I was there for that fight, Wyoming, if I was there for that fight, you already know me. You already know where I would have been. Everybody would have been filming. I've been like, okay. To the car I go. To the car. Y'all, be kind to one another. Take care of yourself and each other. Prayers to Cara Wilson today. We only can imagine how she's feeling. And take care of yourself and each other. I'll see you probably like 7:30 if I can. If not, I'll make a post about it. I'm just going to try to lay low. I'm just trying to lay low, okay? All right, love you guys. And I'll post my ride along later, okay? I appreciate you so, so much.
Commentary blue, commentary, burgundy, commentary, comment blue, commentary, comment burgundy blue, commentary blue, commentary.